Why is it that so many men have so much hatred towards women?
If you're really proud of your body count, you will tell us. There's no need for you to feel bad about it, to the point where you would have to lie to us. Because some of these are tired, some of them are dead.
I don't know if I'm the only person seeing this, but I kind of feel like there's this much hate towards women from men. Like in recent years or recently, there are a lot of hate towards women from men, and also there are a lot of hate towards men from women. And I kind of feel like the reason why there's this hate among men and women is because there are a lot of people who make this their calling to post videos instigating this hate.
Why is it that so many men have so much hatred towards women? Mostly because they can't get them. I promise that these same women that they in the comments trashing showed them the time of day, all they would be doing is showing them love in real life. So I want y'all to be careful, because this incelibate behavior that is being spread throughout social media, to where instead of you embracing more of being a man, right, you're blaming the woman. And there's development traits that you can take on to become a man, and you can get down there any woman, and you can get respect from any man throughout the world, but you have to learn to live at your edge.
If you're really proud of your body count, you will tell us. There's no need for you to feel bad about it, to the point where you would have to lie to us. Because some of these are tired, some of them are dead. You meet a nice lady, you bring her home, you invite her to your place, you take her to the bedroom, she opens her legs, her pussy like this. Her pussy has wings. Like butterfly, it wants to fly. The edges of the is dead. So anytime she's walking, the pussy is. Have you seen that like this? The one that looks like butterfly. Anytime she's walking, this is what it does. It claps. Clapping pussy. That's what you have.
And this is a man who came out of the private part of a woman. Every time I use my page to defend women because of posts like this, and then when I defend women, they'll say, oh, Dr. Zita is always disrespecting men. No, I don't disrespect men. Every man walking on the surface of the earth was nurtured in the womb of a woman. Most men came out of the private part of a woman, with the exception of those who were born through cesarean section. But most men came out of the private part of a woman. And you will sit as a young man and you would disrespect the private part of a woman. No woman you're trying to date owes you the truth about her body count. No woman you're trying to date owes you the truth about her body count. Because women don't ask you about your outstanding bank account when they meet you. Women don't ask you about how you are able to sustain an erection and if you are not a 2 minutes man. Women don't ask that. Some of you men will come on this app and you will disrespect women unprovoked. You will hardly see a woman open her phone camera and then start saying all these men who have erectile dysfunction, who can't sustain an erection, all these men with saggy balls, and all these men who are broke. You will hardly see a woman unprovoked open her phone camera and begin to disrespect men based on the things that men are measured by, such as their bank account, their penis size, their ability to sustain an erection, and their performance in the bedroom. But this young man is bold enough to post a video about women's private part simply because of what? Body count. If there's anything that is devastating to a woman's private part, it is giving birth to people like you. The thing that traumatizes women's private part is giving birth to men. That is the thing that traumatizes women's private part, not a woman's free will and desire to engage in sexual activity. I know some of you just want to trend, but we need to know the limit of the things that we post on social media. You came out of the private part of a woman. So for you to disrespect the private part of a woman, it is a taboo and it is an abomination. Every man walking on the surface of this earth was nurtured in the womb of a woman. And the majority of you men came out of the private part of a woman. Let us know when to draw the limit in terms of the things we post on TikTok.
Well, you told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did, and it significantly damaged my life. And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus Christ that I was saved. Now I'm happily married. I have one child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier. But I felt, you're not against that, but my concern is what you're saying to men leads them astray, because I'm a walking example of it. And I think you're significantly damaging people, and especially you're leading people away from morality. Women are not sex objects. Women are created in the image of God, and they are valuable. And they should be treated as such. Why should God give you one of his children if you don't even know how to treat them?
There are about 4 different types of misogynists. Hear me out and let me know what you think. Type 1, he's not abusive toward women, but he's very disrespectful and very critical toward other women. Rarely loses his temper, but he'll use logic and words to demean the woman. A woman's feelings and thoughts, he won't really value them or take them into consideration. He kind of just brushes over them. That's type 1. Type 2 misogynist will now belittle women, name call women, and compare her body to other women's bodies and make her feel insecure. That's type 2. Now the type 3 misogynist exhibits behaviors of the type 1 and the type 2 misogynist, plus exhibits threats of physical and or emotional abuse. The type 3 misogynist is controlling of a woman's actions, her social life, dictates who she can and cannot talk to, and her finances and everything in matters of daily living. While they're all bad, the type 4 misogynist is arguably the worst kind because he exhibits the type 1, the type 2, and the type 3 behaviors plus the type 4 behaviors of that specific misogynist. Not only is a type 4 misogynist physically and emotionally abusive, but also sexually abusive and poses a threat to not only women, but to children as well.
Some of you don't even do it well. I mean, I know a lot of women that don't have lips, that don't have ass, that can't have kids, that, you know, and those some that do have uteruses that probably shouldn't, but that's not because of my opinion as
Just straight up misogyny. I think a lot of people think that if they fall into the label of left or right or LGBTQ, they think that they are automatically like girls. At the end of the day, men are socialized to hate women. Males born into this society from a young age are raised to look at women as objects. This is the society that we live in. Society objectifies women. We are not seen as people. Men internally hate women because on a societal level, men are raised to hate women. Even if this man didn't say he hated women, he completely said women are just objects because this is what this society teaches. This is misogyny. And it's so normalized that it comes out of people's mouths so fucking easily. And they don't even realize they're saying it, or do they? Because at the end of the day, he is a man, so he feels like whatever he says goes, and it's okay to say these things. Am I not a woman because I'm not dressed up and I have like this headband on and I'm sitting here chilling? My nails aren't done right now because I haven't had a baby? No, because these are misogynistic standards in society, and all of society is based around this. Everyone who is born a male is socialized like this. Even if they don't realize it, they say shit like this because deep within their minds, those ideas are still there. Even if this man is dating men, being a woman is not a costume. So the women that are more masculine aren't women. Men are designed to throw women under the bus.
Girl, my favorite is when incels will call men that actually treat women like people, like women, respect women, you know. When incels call those men simps or cucks. Imagine being so unlikable. Imagine being so disgusting. Because the thing is, even when these types of men have girlfriends, they treat them like shit. They're not good to them. Like, maybe women would like you too if you weren't a piece of shit. Which is totally in your control, totally in your power to change that. But based off of my comments, based off of the reactions I've gotten from most men, I would say, is that you all do not care to change that. Because unfortunately, a lot of you still feel entitled to women. You feel as if though you shouldn't have to do anything to get a partner. You feel as if though that should just, be handed to you. Like, what's it going to take for you all to understand that you have to be a better option than being alone? And also, I would dare to say that men who are actually good people don't hang out with incel losers who spend all their time on the internet trolling women's comment sections, making threats. You know the type of guy that I'm alluding to. Like, geez, is it really that hard for some of you to be good people? Is it really that hard to treat women like people?
Women who are better educated and better employed reduce down their mating pool. What's good for their educational and employment achievements is not necessarily good for their dating prospects.
This should be good. Hit me with it.
Relationships where the woman out-earns the man are 50% more likely to end in divorce. Relationships where the woman contributes more than 80% of household income, twice as likely to end in divorce.
This stat is actually correct. In households where the wife out-earns the husband, they are far more likely to get divorced. Now, this man, whether because he is a remarkably incurious person speaking to an even more incurious audience, or because he realizes that it would harm his narrative, has no interest in actually getting at the reasons why this phenomenon occurs. He leaves it for us to infer why that happens in the hopes that his misogynist audience will jump to the wrong conclusions, and I'm sure that they do. He wants us to believe that women out-earning men causes the relationship to end in divorce, when in fact the underlying data, the literature, suggests that it is women earning less than men that prevents them from seeking the divorces that they want. It's remarkably difficult for somebody who's been out of the workforce to leave the relationship, particularly because divorce is so expensive. So that lower divorce rate among couples where the husband is the sole or majority earner could just be chalked up to financial considerations. If the women who are financially dependent, who have been made financially dependent on their husbands, could afford a divorce, more of those women would be getting a divorce.
Relationships where the man is not the primary breadwinner, he is 50% more likely to need to use erectile dysfunction medication.
So this is definitely indicative of a real problem, yes. But again, he avoids identifying the source, the explanation, because it would run contrary to his narrative. The problem here is traditional gender roles and expectations. The problem is toxic masculinity. Husbands who earn less, who may in fact assume the role of primary caregiver to children or house husband, haven't been set up to succeed in that role. We aren't, as a rule, taught how to provide emotional support, but we often are taught that it is beneath us. And research suggests that the internalized misogyny of women plays a role here too. Since high-earning women with a lot of professional ambition have rarely been told that they should be looking for a husband willing to take on those atypical gender roles.
You can imagine the dynamic.
I can, and I imagine that it can work wonderfully. Because there's absolutely nothing stopping a husband and wife from being over the moon happy in this situation. Nothing aside from misogyny and toxic masculinity.
Should we talk about some of the specifics of the men who have bullied me on this app? Because it's very easy to think like, oh yeah, these are schmincels, these are men who live in their mom's basement, but a lot of them are not. And it's disconcerting to find out who some of these men actually are, because as you all know, it's pretty easy to track down a lot of people. Sometimes people will give it away by their profile name. It's explicitly their full government name. Or sometimes they'll put in a hint that if you piece it together enough, you can figure it out. I've had a great deal of, this is what worries me the most, people in the medical field, men in the medical field. Sometimes they'll have a profile name that is, a term used to refer to doctors. Sometimes it's just their name and you look them up. And for example, I had a cardiothoracic surgeon put some really, really awful stuff. Specifically, he told me that I was going to DIE alone with cats. He's a cardiothoracic surgeon out of Cleveland, Ohio. I have had a certified anesthesiology nurse based out of Philadelphia make some really, really vile, hateful comments. And again, let's keep in mind, I create content that's just basically a broadcast of my ideas, and men are scrolling through their FYP and they make the conscious choice to leave a comment. They don't have to. No one's making them. And they've taken a Hippocratic oath to do no harm. However, on social media, they're doing a lot of harm. They're saying really awful, hateful stuff. A lobbyist based out of Richmond, who was also married, was hitting on me in my DMs. And then when I did not pick up what he was throwing down, he started to get really ugly. And that happens a lot. People will come into my DMs, and then when I don't respond to them hitting on me, they start leaving nasty stuff. Another was a nurse out of Winchester, Virginia. And he was a nurse teacher, and he wanted me to meet him. He was going to a wrestling match, and he didn't like that I wasn't going to meet him 45 minutes away. I could really go on and on. Just know, and it's scary to know that when you look around, the men that you see could very well have a heart full of hate, and they could be spewing vile things on the internet while you're also putting your life in their hands.
So I had a guy troll my video the other day, and this is what he said. Spoiler alert, all the women who are deferring being with who they got will be gravely disappointed in your 30s as your looks go way south. I'm 36 and will never date any women in her 30s, ever. Ignoring the stark grammatical errors aside, let's see if his thesis holds true. Here's a photo of me from 10 years ago at the innocent, pure, desirable age of 22. And here's the photo of me from 20 seconds ago, unfiltered and unedited, looking like the haggard beast that I clearly am at the ripe old age of 32. And while I could expound further on the subject, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I've got 2 of them here, so I'll let the pictures do most of the talking. But here's what I will say. Ladies, a man who was born in this country, whose first language is English, who doesn't know how to appropriately pluralize the word woman, probably doesn't know anything about women to begin with.
That 1 in 3 black men are convicted felons.
The statistics of black men being convicted felons would be a lot higher if black women were to actually report every crime committed against them that would lead to them being a convicted felon. But black women have been conditioned to spare you. Black women have been coddling you and excusing your behaviors away. Not just the ones that you are victimizing, but also the women in your family that are your supporters and your flying monkeys, your mother, your grandmother, your aunts, your cousins, your sisters. All of the women who are privy to what you have done to women and children, but still lend you a supporting hand, still opening their homes to you, still allowing you to sleep on their couches, still lending you money, still helping you to get a job, still covering for you. The only reason why you even have your freedom and a place to stay or an income is because of a black woman. But then you still will get online and talk about them, read them for filth, when they are the very reason why you have food in your stomach, a roof over your head, a job to report to, and your freedom.
The reason the men in your family sexualize you is because they want to you. The reason the men in your family sexualize you is because they want to yes, your brother, yes, your uncle, yes, your dad, your granddad even. They want to fuck. Nobody talks about the experience of growing up attractive and opinionated. The way you get to a certain age and all the men in your family just start acting very fucking weird when it comes to you, especially when they like to argue with you a lot, especially when they like to just be in disagreements with you a lot. It's like you got to a certain age and they start having wet dreams about you and they can't hold it back anymore. Oh, and it's also the reason why your pick-me mom, aunties, and cousins, the females, it's also the reason why they see you as competition. Really hope that no one is able to relate to this video, but sadly, because men are predatory and bitches are pick-me's, I know for a fact someone's going to be able to relate to it.
It's like painfully obvious that like the guys who make red pill content or are mad at women who don't want to go on coffee dates have actually never been touched consensually by a woman. I don't know if you've seen women, but they're pretty amazing, pretty beautiful. They're nice. I enjoy their company. Then again, I don't have a problem getting company, so maybe that's part of it. Or I'm just like a human being who can think clearly. But at the same time, like, there's no amount of being turned down by a woman that would ever make me turn into a person who just hates their existence. I mean, like, even men who like men don't just dislike women, just romantically. This is why I feel like there's some repressed things happening, some internal conversations that need to happen, because there's just quite literally too many women in existence for me to be taking my disdain for one bad experience and then projecting it onto every single other woman. That's why I think you guys have some other conversations that you need to be having, because it's very weird, but it's very obvious. You also just have never been touched or have ever gotten the chance to consensually touch them.
If you hate women so much, why don't you just date men?
I never said I hate women.
You said women deserve less. Isn't that hating them? Why don't you just date men?
Number one, I don't hate women. And I like how you immediately came to that conclusion. I think if anything, we need to give women less because we care about them. Women want a guy that is attractive. And attraction a lot of times comes from you being dominant and assertive and not necessarily listening to everything that she wants. And you're being a boss. So I think you're actually doing her a service by making her work for your validation, your attention as a man.
That's just your preference. I don't know how many women you've met like that, but, like, not all women are the same.
The reality is most women don't want to be in a relationship with a guy who isn't competent, leadership traits, attractive, tall, good shape, etc. Women want a guy
That's
that
what
has
you
his stuff
want in a
together.
man. Why do you keep describing what women want in a man? Like, you're just...
Because it's a fact.
It's not
biological
a fact. You're describing what you want in men.
Okay, good one. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been shown throughout time that women have a pretty narrow attraction trigger base of what they like in men.
And you have a narrow attraction trigger base, too. You just want women with 0 body counts and all that.
Okay. That's not what I said. I think you're misrepresenting my position, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you like men.
Honestly, I know that social media have impacted the world, but I kind of feel like the power social media give everybody to air their opinion sometimes have disadvantage in our society. And one of the biggest disadvantage that has is this whole hate between men and women. Every man who has been hurt by a woman, each time they have the opportunity to go on social media, they will post a lot of hateful things about women, encouraging men to hate on women, saying a lot of things about women, spreading hate and making a lot of men lose interest in their wife, and also those that have girlfriend, just creating hate in their heart. The same thing also goes to women who have been hurt by men. They are always on social media instigating hate. I feel like it is more on men's side, because these days if you go on YouTube, TikTok, you see a lot of men sitting down to build their audience and their platform on hating on women. And some of the things these men are saying, like some of the things most of these men say, you will wonder, are these men that were given birth by women? Are these men not raised and breastfeed by women? Does these men have women in their home? Honestly, I tell you, I am scared of men. Like, I'm so very scared of men. When I say I'm scared of men, people will not understand. I'm fucking scared of men. I'm so very scared of men these days. Like, I used to think maybe Asian men are different, but also when you come deep, you know that all these men are the same. Like, the hate for women from men is insane. Like, it is very, very hard to see a man that have respect for women. Like, it is very, very hard in this our age. And all these things is because of all this public opinion we are consuming. After consuming some hateful things from somebody who has been hurt by a woman, you will start hating on women. There's a post I saw on TikTok where they say that there's this Telegram group. There are over 5,000 men or 50,000 men where they are conspiring against women and what they will do to women. A lot of things were said on that group. Some people are saying the way they will unalive women. Like, I don't know if that is true because I did not see the evidence of what they are saying, but they say that they found that out, that a lot of men in a particular group of social media platform, you see that Telegram, they were conspiring against women, talking about things they would do to women. Even the people that have children and wife, talking about things. A lot of people have confessed that they are about to unalive their partners and their children. Like, guys, I don't know, but if I find evidence to that, I will come and tell you. But I don't know if this is true because I just saw it on TikTok. But the person that made that post did not show the evidence of what they are saying. But honestly, in all honesty, I am so very scared of men, and I wish this whole hate between men and women will end. Honestly, I wish people will keep their bad experience from opposite sex, like they will keep it to themselves instead of poisoning people's mind. Because if you look deep into the lives of all these men and women who are posting a lot of things against opposite sex on social media, you see that a lot of them have been hurt. I don't think there are very few women that have experienced what I have experienced in hands of men. However, I do not go around hating on men, because at the end of the day, I just feel like I have a brother, I have an elder brother that I love so much. And because of the love I have for my elder brother, I could not bring myself to hate on all men, because at the end of the day, those men also have sisters that love them. I wish people will be considerate in what they are putting out on social media, because this is damaging our society. A lot of marriages, a lot of relationships have been ruined by these people who sit on podcasts and people who sit in their house with camera to poison the heart of people. But guys, I want to know what you think in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to subscribe, like, comment. I'll be bringing you a lot of interesting topic on all social media and Chinese social media too, because there are a lot on Chinese social media. Thank you guys for watching. Let me see you in my other video.